Hello everyone, my name is Aura and I make perfume content. If that sort of thing interests you, please consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Today's video is going to be a bit different. I'm excited to introduce it and to post it. It is in line with my darker content this season. So I'll be going over the first 5 cards in the major arcana and going through what they represent and then matching them to what I would think their signature scent would be, like the character in the card or the card itself's signature scent. I tried to match their positive qualities most instead of focusing on the negative. And if I feel that I really like the series, I will continue all through the major arcana. The Fool is the first card in the major arcana. It represents 0. And the Fool is a choice, a beautiful future, a fresh start, imagined goals, the feeling of the start of a creative project when you're bursting full of energy. The card showcases a dog prancing at the Fool's feet, and he precariously leans over the cliff's edge, in awe of how beautiful everything is, of how grand his future is. And the dog sort of represents that the lofty ideals of the Fool are accompanied by a sense, by a logic, and to make a good decision. And if this card is seen in reverse, it means it's a bad decision. And imagery-wise, it would be as if the Fool accidentally had leapt over the cliff instead of making the wiser decision to stay back with the dog. And this is represented by Red Dakota, Dedcool, which is a fresh, citrus, beautiful, summery scent. It is a major change, as if a choice was made. The card quiets down into more realistic goals, similar to how this scent dies down into an ambery sweet skin scent over time, when it initially is only fresh zestiness. It is bright and creative, and it's like the beginning of the morning when the whole day is ahead of you, full of possibility. Very representative of this card. It smells like it's early Saturday morning in the summer, and your serrated silver spoon has just pierced the flesh of a freshly cut grapefruit. And it lasts for hours. And then it dies down to the loveliest ambery skin scent. And the citrus of the scent is the dreamy Fool. And the ambery skin scent die down is the sensibility and instinct of the dog to make the right decision. Like sort of how a skin scent melts into your own scent profile instinctually and melds and forms into its own scent. The next one in the major arcana, representing number 1, is the Magician, which is creative power. The Magician is of invention, of organizational skill and usefulness, of creation itself. As a negative, it can also represent destruction and poor planning. As you can see in the imagery above his head, there's an infinity symbol which represents eternal life. And then there's also a snake. It's hard to tell. There's a snake eating itself around his waist, which is also representative of eternity, an eternal struggle, an eternal back and forth. In some cultures, the snake eating itself is the symbol of the creation of the world itself as well. And sometimes it can also be the symbol of Armageddon. So the Magician is representative of creation and destruction. And then the perfume that I chose to represent and match this one is a newer one that I've really fallen in love with, and this is Sur Tes Levres E.Q. Sorry about the pronunciation. And this is an eternal skin scent, which is creative in itself to be eternal as well as a skin scent. But it's also something I've never really smelt before. It's pretty unique. There are different facets like citrus and tang, ethereal grace, powdery iris, cashmere comfort, an edge of slight masculine, and salty animalic, and a hint of earthy patchouli components, and all of these fascinate. These could clash, but they work together in an organizational manner, and it brings you this masterpiece. The fact it also lasts an eternity further drives their similarities with the card representing the eternity. This is the smell of creation, of the zest of ideas popping into existence among the clouds of perception that float around our heads. This is the smell of that cloud and the electrical currents and the chemical reactions that occur in its bubble as the genius invents. It is an organized chaos, like the magician from Sword in the Stone, the Disney movie. This is also, like mentioned, one of my favorites, even though it's newer. I already bought a larger size. This one was brand new. Went through the sample. Love it. The third card in the Major Arcana, representing the number 2, is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is hidden, kept secret. She's the mysteries of the unknown, an unrevealed future, spiritual enlightenment, inner illumination. She represents dreams too. She's billows of mystery that feel pleasant and faintly familiar. Hidden matters of the moon. She represents intuition, depth to meaning. In reverse, she means shallowness. Also represents, based on the imagery, a divine union, as you can see the meeting of the two energies, like the black and the white, the feminine and masculine, and she holds this scroll of divine law as if to say that there's an eternal propensity for these two energies to always be reunited. There's an eternal mysterious draw between the black and the white, the feminine and masculine, the yin and the yang. There is an invisible webbed connection, a mysterious draw between people and things, almost like Gothic Avatar. Like the movie Avatar, the concept from that's like Gothic Avatar, like hidden destiny. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera. That's this card. And the perfume that represents that best, in my opinion, is Molecule 01 by Escentric Molecules. Because it is a mysterious, secret, both feminine and masculine, representative of the invisible, of a webbed connection. It's shallow when it's not smelled, but there are billows of mystery when you can smell it. Pleasant and faintly familiar. It's woody and airy, like you'd imagine a high priestess would smell like. A secret, unless you smell her alone, because you will be anosmic to the scent if any other has been smelled recently. It's spiritual smelling, like the scent of heaviness in the room, or a traditional shaman mask made of wood and bone. You have to sit still and calm your mind to be able to even smell this properly, so it fits really well with the High Priestess. The fourth card, representing number 3, is the Empress, and she is material abundance and wealth. She represents marriage, fidelity, fertility, mental stability, emotional balance, open-mindedness, contentment, success within personal growth and home life. And in reverse, this card can be quite devastating, one of the most, if not the most devastating one. It's rage, infidelity, disillusionment, psychosis and mental illness, poverty, and on a larger scale, if we're talking outside of individuals, it can mean war and destruction. The Empress embodies a mother's love and a wrath all in one. Things can be stunningly good when they're good, and the end of all things when they're bad. You can see in the card's imagery the bountiful harvest signifying wealth and success, the stream flowing in the background through the trees of life, and everything grows from the stream, and her scepter, which represents dominion over the created world. When I see this card, I think of a few Greek mythological characters. Specifically, I think of Hera, except the Empress seems to have more power over her domain, whereas Hera's power was constantly undermined by Zeus. Cartomancy leans more matriarchal, it seems. Demeter also comes to mind, and honestly matches and represents way better. She is the goddess of the harvest, of agriculture, of life and growth, sort of like the waters of life. She has control over all of that, and she has exercised that power before as well, which I think the Empress is very much like. She is very powerful, she is very much in control, As you can see from all that she represents, things can go quite wrong if she deems it necessary. I'd say that Demeter is like her because Demeter created winter in order to slowly kill off all living things in defiance of her daughter's kidnapping, and it was only once a bargain was struck between Zeus and Hades and herself that she stopped this forever winter. The compromise, though, is that winter would continue occurring as long as her daughter was with Hades in the underworld, so for 6 months of the year we get colder weather and dying crops. She's kind of like the Empress in that way. The crops are plentiful when she's happy, but dead when she's upset. The perfume I picked to represent the Empress is Liis Floating. This represents springtime, harvest abundance, mental stability. Liis Floating is a cool spring breeze, comforting. A good representation of open-mindedness, contentment, zen. She's a light, airy cellophane cloud. This smells like quiet successes you celebrate in the comfort of your cocoon living space. Like the flow of the river between the trees of life if soft florals grew along the bank. The smell of budding life and the end of winter. If you happen to encounter the Empress's bad side, she'll turn into your own personal most hated fragrance. For me, that would be, in her worst form, Bois de Valancourt. I don't really have a perfume that represents rage and war, but if you do, let me know. Next is the Emperor, the 5th card in the Major Arcana, representing the number 4. He is leadership, authority, government, reason and logic, his mastery of self and emotions, powerful, a solid father figure or role model. The Emperor is a good and fair leader who considers all options with reason. In reverse, it typically means physical injury or loss of self-control. The imagery in this card suggests virility to match the fertility vibe of the Empress. They are paired together in order to create the world. He also has dominion over created life, shown by the globe. This yellow globe right here. It sort of looks like fruit. He is Mars, while the Empress is Venus, and they're paired together forever. And the number 4 is representative of stability. He does kind of remind me of Zeus, in that the negative of this card suggests loss of self-control. And that's basically Zeus to a T, considering all the magically transforming into an animal to impregnate human women stuff that he does, despite being married to Hera. And this card, I'd say, is well represented by a few, but I have chosen out of the few. Juliette has again Musc Invisible, and this one is a calm, quiet, decisive leader, operating with a controlled reasoning. It's the reliable father figure who will always be there to defend you when you need it, or help you learn a valuable lesson, or give you sound advice. The smell is soft, unisex, slightly masculine leaning to me. It's clean and musky. It's a skin scent that has an air of gentle authority. The smell is stable, reliable, and an easy signature scent. Cool, calm, and collected. Something a busy leader can easily grab. A scent for a suit, for government. It's what I would imagine Zeus would wear modern day, like in a pinstripe suit with a scent. And that's all of the scents. If any of these scents are your signature or a favorite of yours, perhaps you will see yourself represented within the card. I hope you enjoyed the content today. Next time I will start on the Hierophant card, and let me know what your signature scent is, or if you have any tarot card that you connect with, let me know about that too. Alright, bye guys.